weekend, we will celebrate Shavuot, the festival that commemorates Matan Torah, the giving of Torah. Jews around the world will welcome in the holiday by staying up all night studying Torah. Part of the magic of the Tikkun Leil Shavuot, the all-night study session, is the sense of excitement and anticipation. After counting the 50 days between Passover and Shavuot, after staying up all night, we arrive at the culminating event in the Jewish story, the revelation of Torah on Mount Sinai. You won't be surprised to hear there are numerous midrashim, rabbinic legends, that imagine this climactic moment. I'm going to share one with you. It's one of my favorites. This is from the Talmud. When Moses ascended on high, he found the Holy One, blessed be he, sitting and tying crowns on the letters of the Torah. Moses said, "Master of the universe, what's keeping you?" God said to him, "There is a man who is destined to be born after several generations, and Akiva ben Yosef is his name. He is destined to derive from each and every thorn of these crowns mounds upon mounds of halachot, of laws. It's for his sake that the crowns must be added to the letters of the Torah." Moses said, "Master of the universe, show him to me." God said to him, "Turn around." Moses went and sat at the end of the 8th row in Rabbi Akiva's study hall, but did not understand what they were saying. Moses' strength waned as he thought his Torah knowledge was deficient. At one point in the discussion, Rabbi Akiva's students said to him, "My teacher, from where do you derive this?" And Rabbi Akiva said to them, "It is a halakha transmitted to Moses from Sinai." When Moses heard this, his mind was put at ease, as this too was part of the Torah that he was to receive. Moses returned and came before the Holy One and said, "Master of the universe, you have a man as great as this, and yet you still choose to give the Torah through me? Why?" And God said to him, "Be silent. This is the way I've planned it." So we see here Moses as he arrives at the top of Mount Sinai, and he sees God putting the finishing touches on the Torah. He asks what's taking God so long. It's a little chutzpahdik in my opinion. And God tells him that a certain scholar, Rabbi Akiva, is going to be able to interpret even the little decorations, little crowns that decorate the letters of the Torah scroll. Moses then does a little time traveling, arriving in the back of Rabbi Akiva's classroom. He's dismayed because he doesn't understand the conversation going on. But when Rabbi Akiva asserts that the halakha he's teaching comes from the same Torah that Moses brought down from Mount Sinai, Moses' mind is put at ease. So Moses asks God, "If there's someone as brilliant as Rabbi Akiva, why are you giving the Torah through me?" And God replies with the classic parental response, "Because I said so." In this story, Moses is characteristically humble and just a little insecure. But we know this about Moses. Remember when Moses first encounters God at the burning bush, and God tells him he's got a job to do? Moses argues with God, saying, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and free the Israelites from Egypt? And what if they don't believe me and don't listen to me? And please, O Lord, I have never been a man of words, either in times past or now that you've spoken to your servant. I am slow of speech and slow of tongue." So even after he leads the Israelites out of Egypt, even as he's about to receive the Torah on Mount Sinai, Moses doubts his worthiness. But whether he believes it or not, he is the right man for the job. In spite of his lack of confidence in his ability to communicate or persuade, Moses becomes the greatest prophet, leader, and teacher the Jewish people has ever known. This story from the Talmud is full of ironies. First, Moshe Rabbeinu, as he is known, our Rabbi Moses, the quintessential teacher of Torah, doesn't understand the Torah being taught in the yeshiva. And second, the teacher in the yeshiva is Rabbi Akiva, one of the more unlikely scholars in the Talmud. According to tradition, Akiva is a poor shepherd who doesn't start learning Torah until he is 40 years old. Ancient, I know. He is inspired to learn by, of all things, a well. He says, "Who hollowed out this stone?" And is told, "Akiva, haven't you read that water wears away stone? It was water falling upon it constantly, day after day." So Rabbi Akiva asks himself, is my mind harder than this stone? I will go and study at least one section of Torah. So he starts learning the Aleph Bet, and letter by letter, until he's mastered the Torah and surpassed the knowledge of his teachers. In another story from the Talmud, Akiva leaves his wife as a poor shepherd and comes back 12 years later as a famous Torah scholar with just 12,000 disciples accompanying him. And tragically, we also learn that Rabbi Akiva is executed by the Romans for continuing to teach Torah to his students after the government has forbidden it. So in our original story, we have Moses and Rabbi Akiva, two men from humble beginnings who become heroes of the Jewish people. And their heroic act, teaching Torah. If I were to presume to guess why God chooses them, I would say they're chosen because of their modesty, their devotion to God, and their love of their people. They demonstrate that love by serving the community, even if it means sacrificing their own comfort or even their own life. I bring this up because even though it's been nearly 2 millennia since the days of Rabbi Akiva, we still need teachers of Torah. Matan Torah, the giving of Torah, only works if there are people to receive it and then pass it on. When the clergy stand on the bima with a bar bat mitzvah, we talk about the chain of tradition, passing on Torah ledor vador from generation to generation. As we pass the Torah scroll from grandparents to parents to the bar bat mitzvah, we are empowering our young people to claim Torah as their own inheritance and to become teachers of Torah on that day. And yet, it is impossible for our b'nai mitzvah to be those teachers of Torah without having first been taught themselves. That's where you come in. Every year, hundreds of students come to Beth Am to learn about Torah, the texts, the rituals, the holidays, and values of Judaism. That means that every year we need dozens of teachers to teach them. And while we do have many wonderful, devoted teachers, we need more. We need committed, knowledgeable, enthusiastic Jews to teach Torah to our young people. We need people who love Judaism and Torah and want our children to love Judaism and Torah. You don't have to be Moses. You don't have to be Rabbi Akiva, but you might be a little bit like Moses, a little shy, maybe unsure of your own worthiness to be a leader. You might be a little bit like Rabbi Akiva, having come recently to your own Jewish learning. And like both men, you just might find that you have a hidden gift for sharing your learning with others. If you care about the Jewish community, if you want to see it survive and thrive, then consider becoming a teacher. And if you can't be a teacher, but you know someone who can, send them our way. Tonight, right before the Shema, we prayed Ahavat Olam, which says, "With eternal love you have loved us, Adonai. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts you have taught us." It is a holy act to teach, an act of divine love. So on this Shavuot, let's rejoice in the giving of Torah, and let's make sure that the next generation receives it too. Shabbat Shalom.